What's the FDA's next move against the injunction on the abortion medication Mifepristone? And what does this all mean for you? On April 7th, a Trump-appointed federal judge in Texas issued a preliminary injunction, declaring the U.S. Food and Drug Administration's approval of Mifepristone, which has been in place for more than 20 years, invalid. Later that same day, an Obama-appointed federal judge in Washington state enjoined the FDA from altering the status quo in relation to the distribution of Mifepristone, ordering the government to maintain its availability in 17 states and Washington, D.C., which are plaintiffs in the case. The Biden administration and one of the drug's manufacturers have already filed appeals. And the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit worked quickly, deciding on April 12th to partially block the Texas judge's injunction, but also placed restrictions on Mifepristone access. For now, patients won't be able to access the drug by mail and are prohibited from using it after 7 weeks of pregnancy. So the Department of Justice is tapping in the U.S. Supreme Court in hopes of overturning those restrictions. With two clearly contradictory injunctions in place, an expected Supreme Court decision, and thousands of birthing people demanding clarity, how can the FDA respond? Well, according to recent reporting by the New York Times, the FDA has the authority to decide not to enforce a regulation or prohibition of a drug if the agency considers the drug to be safe and effective, as it does with Mifepristone. If you think that sounds too easy, we agree. So we followed up. Greer Donnelly, an associate professor of law at the University of Pittsburgh, specializes in abortion-related law. She told NowThis that not only does the FDA have the power to ignore the Texas ruling, that plan would be in line with standard practice for any other unapproved drug that the agency has otherwise determined to be safe and effective. And while this loophole feels like a silver lining, Donnelly says taking it a step further and issuing an enforcement discretion notice, which would formalize the agency's intent not to enforce the judge's ruling, would be more reassuring. Scott Lastman has been working in FDA law for more than 30 years. He told NowThis that FDA can refuse to remove Mifepristone from the official list of FDA-approved drugs, commonly referred to as the Orange Book. And it can also refuse to take any enforcement action against companies or individuals that manufacture, distribute, dispense, prescribe, or use Mifepristone. Lastman also believes that public health concerns will present the FDA with a moral and scientific responsibility to keep Mifepristone available. The takeaways here are that A, Mifepristone is still currently available, and B, all hope is not lost for supporters of reproductive rights. At NowThis, we know abortion care is health care, and we're staying close as this news develops.